Every homeowner needs to know these 5 easy repairs. You'll save at least $500 in repair bills, and they're all quick and easy to do. Let's jump in with number 1, fixing a clogged sink. Do you have a sink that's clogged and backing up like mine? I'm going to show you how to fix this in under 10 minutes with things you already have in your kitchen. It's so easy to do, you'll wonder why you didn't do it long ago. Let's go to the kitchen and get some supplies. We're going to need paper towels, and then we're going to need something long and skinny we can use to fish down the drain. Let's find something. Ideally, you want something you can throw away after you're done, because you probably don't want to use it after it's been down this drain. These chopsticks should work great. You might want to put on some gloves. You don't have to, but it is kind of gross in that drain. Got our supplies from the kitchen. I'm going to start this timer. Let's get going. First, I like to take a towel or something and put over the handles so I don't accidentally turn the sink on. Now let's get under here. First thing we're going to do is undo the P-trap. That's this curved gooseneck right here. Now you might need some channel locks if you can't turn these by hand. And I'll include a link. You can pick some up on Amazon if you need them. It's going to drip, so make sure you put a bucket below. Now this is going to be nasty and smelly in here. But fixing it yourself sure beats paying a plumber or waiting for the repair guy to show up, because it really is so easy. Okay, it doesn't look too bad in here. That's good. Sometimes you'll need to clean out through this gooseneck, but not today. Now, back here, you need to loosen this. This is the part that helps your drain stopper go up and down, and you pull it out. Again, you might need those channel locks if it's hard to get this guy removed. You may need to disconnect the rod from the vertical clevis strap. There can be several styles of clips holding it in place. Now we should be able to get the stopper out. This is going to be a little bit gross. Look at that thing. We're going to clean this out in a few minutes. Looking down this drain, I put a light below. We can barely see it coming up. Now we're going to take some paper towels. I'm going to start fishing them down through there. Before I do that, I might want to take these chopsticks. They should work pretty well. And try and jab down. There's all sorts of hair and gunk. You can just feel it. Okay, now the paper towels. Take your chopsticks and just shove that paper towel down. Kind of nasty. All that hair and gunk, that's what's been stopping the water. There's chopstick. Now look at the light shining up through there. That is cleaned out. Okay, now if there's nothing hanging out of here, you don't need to worry about taking this part off, but if you needed to, you could take it off here. Okay, we're going to put this back together, but first, let's get this cleaned off. It's got some gunk growing on it. I bet the plumber doesn't want you to know just how easy this is, because there's no need to call a plumber for a basic drain clog if you take care of it before it gets too bad. Okay, to put this in, notice it's the little L. We're going to put this side back towards that bar. Slide it in like this. Okay, now the trickiest part, getting this rod lined back up. I'm going to slide it in there and feel around until it fits through that little hole in the end of the drain. Up above, you'll know you've got it in when the drain goes up and down while you're moving it with your hand. Then you got to get this threaded back on. You want to slide it in, fish around until you feel the drain moving up and down, and you get this bar through the little hole at the end. Once you got that, the hardest part is just getting the threads to line up. There we go. Now tighten it down. It's fine to do it just finger tight. If the rod was removed from the clevis strap, you'll need to reattach with the clip. And we're going to put our P-trap back on. Loosely put on the second half. Loosely put on the outlet side. And now you go back and forth between the two because you want them both to seal up nicely. So you just tighten one then the other. And just like that. Just need to finger tight them, make them finger tight. Now as we finish, we just want to look for leaks. There you have it. In under 10 minutes, we've got our sink water flowing again. Super easy. Before you pronounce victory, take a paper towel, have the water running through the drain, and look for leaks. You want to find any drips coming out here so you can work on tightening these better to stop the drips. You might also consider leaving your bucket under for a day or two, just because you don't want any water leaking out till you're sure you've got it sealed up nicely. With the drain cleaned out and you feeling like a real plumber, let's move on to number 2, a toilet that won't stop running. Let's turn this back on here. And so the water continues to run, but if you lift the float valve up, it stops. So we're going to see if we can figure out how to make the adjustment. Alright, so the adjustment on this is right here at this screw. As we tighten that down, it's lowering the float, so the float will turn itself off, or turn the water off, before it reaches the overflow point. So it's overflowing right here into the toilet. Okay, we'll turn the water back on, and it stopped. Let's watch it flush. So the water's filling up. And we should hear it stop now. Perfect. If you need to replace any parts, I'll throw a link on Amazon to replace some of the inner components on your toilet tank. Just had to find the right way to adjust the float valve on the toilet. Let's leave the bathroom and head to the front door for numbers 3 and 4. This used to work really nicely and just open the door, but now it's stuck to the point where my kids struggle to get it. It takes a lot of pressure. Okay, so we're going to just simply undo the screws. Take this doorknob off. Before I get too far, I'll get a hold of the front out here so it doesn't just fall apart on me. So, besides having a whole mess of spider webs in here, don't know how a spider really finds any food, but apparently they do. Inside here, do you see how that metal's worn right there? Right on the corner? That's the problem, because when this latch is coming, it's sticking. It's not moving as smoothly. Now, I think I could probably take a file and try and work on that. It might be a little tricky to get in there, but a little bit of work with a file or a grinder, maybe like a Dremel type tool, might be able to get in there and reshape that metal so that it's not sticking as the latch, as I push on the latch here. Right, like that. See, I'm applying a lot of pressure right now, and it doesn't want to give. And then finally, there. But let's look at how this works, and I think there's another trick that'll be even easier of a repair and will help avoid needing to buy a new handle or a new latch for, I don't know, this house is 15 years old, so it'll probably give me another 15 years. So let's look at how this goes together. You've got the rectangular, almost square pin here, and that slides into the latch. Take a look at how this works. As we pull the latch down outside, it turns here. And that sticky, that part where the metal's worn away, makes it really hard to turn. So here's the trick on our fix. So undo 3 screws, pull this out, turn the spindle over, like so. And it's that easy to fix. Let's reassemble it. So with my spindle turned over so it moves smoothly, I'm just going to put it right back in. Let's get the screws put back in. Going to line the spindle onto the shank. There. And put these screws in too. And then let's see how our handle works. Alright, it's been about a week and I'm running into a minor problem that I need to fix here. Sometimes when you open the front door handle, the latch sticks and it doesn't come all the way out, meaning close the door and it just blows right open. It's really easy to get going, you just turn the handle. But I think I need to lubricate something. So let me show you what I'm doing. Alright, so I popped the handle off. I'm going to use a little bit of silicone lubricant and just lubricate parts that didn't previously get much friction. So remember, so this spot right here is getting rubbing and contacting now, and it wasn't before. So I'm going to get that, a little bit of lubricant on that. It's probably too much. Yeah, that's running down. It's running down the side here. So let me clean that a bit. Okay. Alright, so that should help here, and then we're going to lubricate in there. Get this open. You see how that's sliding down? Just a little bit of silicone. Now that I've put this silicone lubricant on, I'm going to put it all back together. Oh, there it is, sticking. So, see how it's sticking there? See if we can't work that lubricant in so it moves freely. So that should keep this latch moving freely. As I'm working on this, I'll put a touch in here as well. I don't want this running down the side of my door, so I'm letting it work in and just wiping out the excess. There, so save yourself some time, put a little silicone lubricant in before you close up. Otherwise you may be taking it apart like I did a week later. Alright, well now it works just as smooth as butter. So that little trick saved me over 50 bucks from the cost of buying a new one of these. Bought me another 15 years. By that point, it might be time just to replace the whole front door. With the front door handle working smoothly, let's jump to something that's gone quiet, the doorbell. For number 4. Been having troubles with this. It's not ringing. No sound. So that's pretty easy to take care of. So let's step inside and take a look at the doorbell. Once we've found that on the wall, we're going to pull the cover off. And this pin right here is no longer striking the bell. That should be going up and down when it gets wired. It's no longer functioning. What we're going to do is a simple fix. This is wired up to the front. Over here is a rear bell, so it gives you a different tone. It's a single tone. And one easy fix is simply to move the wire from the front over to the rear, and then it'll give us the sound of a single ding, whereas this other one, when it was working, was hitting both plates at the top and bottom and giving it a ding-dong sound. The other thing that can be done is simply going to the local hardware store and buying a new doorbell. That's very easy to install. A couple screws to pull it off the wall. Undo the wires here, slip the doorbell off, and then repeat the process to install a new one. So let's take a moment. We're going to unscrew this and move the wire from one to the other. This is low voltage wiring, so there's no real safety concerns. So now that we've changed this wire, when you push the doorbell, watch what happens. So it hits down there. And if we really wanted the ding-dong back, we could try and cut out or get rid of this blocker here. Alright, so to get this thing to both ding and dong, we can get in there and just clip out this little plastic piece that's blocking it. Alright, now that we've cut out the piece, watch the dinger ding both top and bottom bells. For number 5, watch how easy it is to fix a door that just won't stay latched shut. When you close it, it doesn't stay shut. And that just happened over the last few weeks that it started popping back open like that. We've got little kids running around and weather's changing, things like that, not sure what's going on. But I had an idea to see if I might be able to fix it in a pretty simple way. So let's take a closer look at that doorknob. Don't mind the black spot, we've got some stuff on the lens I need to get cleaned off. So it's not holding, but I'm noticing that the doorknob's a little bit loose. So I'm going to take my screwdriver, get it into position, and once it's in position I'm just going to tighten the screws. Alright, we'll see if that fixed it. Okay, so tightening the doorknob didn't work. However, I didn't get this on video, but the next thing I tried was coming over to the hinges, and on all 3 sets of hinges on this door, I just tightened the screws on both the hinges and on the door on each of these. And as I tightened them all, none were seriously loose, but there were some that were just ever so slightly loose, and watch what happened. Then we close the door, it stays. So just like that, didn't take much, just a screwdriver, tightening down the screws on the door, and we've got the door to stay shut again without a lot of effort. Thanks for watching Tomahawk DIY. If it was helpful for you, leave a comment, like it, subscribe, and most importantly, have a great day.